got, again, I wasn't really sure, but
this
it's
guy is like kind of like I don't know. Sean has this Mexican influence, like the old school muralists, like Orozco, Braque. I don't know, like where like Mexican meets Cubism.
Sure.
Really weird. And
so he did the more kind of hard edge.
yes,
hard
you
edge
can
faces,
see
right?
how soft Frankie's faces are, and then you can see Sean's. Like he's got some beautiful blends, but he's really fast. And he knows what he's doing, and spray paint. Yeah.
Okay, so you did the central face, but Frankie did these two faces
Frankie
on either
did
side.
Just two faces.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Because it looks a lot like your style, but the edges are a little harder.
Yeah. She's spray paints. I like to blend stuff.
Okay.
So, and she does more like she's learned to spray paint with Sean.
Right.
Because Frankie's a young artist and she's learning so fast. She's got her own style, so she's really good. I was pretty impressed by her work.
So on this one, you've got the hair. And a lot of times you use that hair to kind of frame the face, and then the hair kind of evolved into these leaves. And the leaves were Frankie's work.
The leaves. You can see the swirls there, and the blends of like clouds. Yeah, like cloudy. Mines are a little bit more leaf-like, or maybe caterpillar-ish. You can see the lines.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you've got, I mean, they almost look like, kind of Aztec, Indian kind of faces, but more geometric. And then you get all of this kind of real
crazy geometric structure.
Yeah, real it's like crystals.
Yeah,
crystals and machines.
Crystals, industrial.
Right.
Those are the guys. And then you can see like the female and the masculine energy. They blend. It's a nice harmony to it.
Right.
And even the colors. It's like black, blue, brown.
Right.
And then some white turquoise, and then these ones are just softer.
Right. Yeah, it's really beautiful.
It is. I really like it.
It's probably one of the most together murals that I've seen around.
There's a collabo.
Right.
It's a collaboration. Yeah.
Just because there's so many layers to it. And I think when I talked to you on Saturday, I was saying that the crystalline structure kind of reminded me of Charles Glaubitz.
Glaubitz, yeah, the little diamonds.
Right. And because I noticed that on your face here, there's like a little diamond shape on the forehead, and then up in the hair is a
triangle.
It's a little triangle, and that triangle becomes.
Those are Alex.
Right.
And blended in. I was like, just come in, and at the end, once we're done, then you can add. Once everybody's done with their solids and some of the details, we can go in and out with some of our details of each, and then just blend them in a little bit with the other. That way, it's a more together.
Yeah, I mean it's really beautiful what you guys you guys did.
Yeah, I'm really proud. It happened so fast sometimes that you can't even like process. Was it a good wall or not? What did we do? Because then you have to move on to the next one.
Right.
And it's so crazy. You don't have time to stop and hey, look at it. We did a nice job. Kudos. But sometimes we're like, all right, cool. That was awesome. Bye bye now.
Okay. So what are we going to do next?
Yeah.
Right?
Or everybody has to go and do what. Their jobs and their walls.
Well, that's interesting that you would talk about kind of the masculine, feminine energy, because I had started to talk to you a little bit about this whole thing about male gaze and feminine self-representation and how men see the world, and how critics sometimes would come in and say, well, this is my narrative, and this is how your work appears because this is the narrative structure I'm laying on it. And then you're saying, oh, no, but we didn't do it that way.
Exactly.
It's a whole nother, there's a whole other story there,
It's cool also to hear what you guys feel, like what the viewer is feeling. I mean, not to talk as in my words, you know, because in my words, that's what happened. It just came out so organically. But if you sit and like, well, I think this is blah, 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 it's just very interesting.
Right.
You know, it's like, wow. I had they were students and they were studying philosophy. And I did a show in Tijuana, just drawings, very intricate drawings, small little drawings. And they were tripping on my stuff. And I was like, what are you guys talking about? Like, what's all this? Like, I need to listen to it. And then they were comparing some of my work with Heidegger's thinking. Very existentialist, you know? Most of the existentialist philosophers. And I was like, wow, okay. I mean, they're in that. And I used to read a lot of Heidegger and Kierkegaard and all of them.
Sure.
There might be a little bit of influences, but you don't do it with that intention, you know? It's like it's just so interesting to listen to what other people are, you know, have there in them, and it just projects like yours,
Yeah, because I thought when I first started seeing your work, and then I kind of looked you up on the internet, and I was looking at some of the older work on your website. The female face, I mean, there's so many different kind of aspects of maybe femininity that you're exploring with those faces, because I know that on some of them, and maybe it's the earlier work, the woman looks more like a child.
Yes.
There's a real kind of childlike quality.
Yeah.
And then, you know, with something like this, it's definitely
more mature,
more of an adult face. But on some of them, like the cutout face that's in the window of her Sparks gallery, you've got
the wooden one,
the wooden cutout, which is really beautiful.
Isn't that nice?
That face is really strong and really kind of definite. But I look at something like this, and this is a little bit more kind of in this kind of in between space, you know. And the thing that I was kind of curious about is kind of, do you leave the faces open so that people can kind of write their own story over the faces, or is there something else kind of going on with how you approach them?
It's a good question, because I feel that it's based on emotional, like on feel, you know. I go along my feelings, like emotionally, like how am I feeling. That's why I sketch. It's like part of therapy. It helps me, I think, not to take any antidepressant pills or anti-ADHD and stuff like that. The drawing and the art. So most of it is a reflection of that state of being. Most of it. And the other ones, like walls, I don't have a lot of time to put as much time as I do in the studio. The one I did for wood cutting was very fast, but it was, I remember it was, I had the awareness of just make it really nice crafted, you know, very nice blend. I wanted the perfect blends for it, so you could have this feeling of like, I just had an idea in my head that I wanted to put in there. And sometimes it is like, it goes very personal. Where is this going? What kind of energy do I want to give? Like, how am I feeling? So it has all kinds of elements, you know, mostly if they go by feel. And what do I need to share? What do I need to throw out there?
Yeah, so it's not so much like, oh, I don't know, do you have like a feminist political agenda and that you want to, you know, express a certain idea? It's more like, you know, kind of where you are as your
one-on-one, like, what do you feel? You know, I like saying, asking, like, what? Because people ask me, like, well, so what was going on there? And I was like, I don't know. You tell me what's going on there.
Sure.
You know, I already gave you that. Right. And some of them I do have a story for them, and some of them I just don't. That's how I was feeling, mostly in drawings. It's like, what is it that I need to give out to the community or to the viewer? You know, that's not just a drawing of something that you can see, but most that's like if you dig deeper, that's what comes out.
Right.
So yeah, I feel it's like very emotional to have the viewer get this in touch with themselves, this connection with themselves, as I'm always looking for a connection with myself and with a higher self, and with the earth.
Okay. Yeah. Actually, I was just going to ask you that because I noticed that a lot of times you use the hair as a way of framing the face, but then the hair
Goes up or down.
the hair sometimes evolves into petals, and so there feels like there's sort of like an underlying connectedness between your characters and nature, and
Yeah, and I think that's my statement, is more the connection that we have with nature or with the higher self, cosmos, divine intelligence, whatever you want, than being a political, feminist, Mexican, all these statements. I want it to be more universal than going into specific theme,
Right.
I was like, how can you make it universal within your style, but also communicate what you want to,
Sure.
So I've been also finding myself through art. I mean, I haven't found my niche in a gallery. I haven't found my niche in, I feel I'm always looking for that, what is it? I don't know what it is, but like that state of being that, this is where,
Right.
So it's like a search for whatever needs to come out,
Sure,
it's so
sure.
crazy.
Well, you're connected with Sparks Gallery, right?
I am connected through Sparks. It's just sometimes I feel that downtown is not for me. Like also the space, it's like it's just different. The neighborhood, or what is it? The outside.
Sure.
The space is beautiful.
Sure.
Don't get me wrong, but I feel that's not. I don't know. I feel.
Right.
I mean, you don't have to write it there,
Yeah,
Don't put it out there,
sure.
But
Sure.
I haven't found
Well,
the gallery.
Yeah, that's a real commercial area. Too,
Yeah.
I mean, that's great because it sounds like you're selling work through them.
It is. I do not how I would love to, the truth. But either I don't know if I want to be in galleries.
Yeah.
Maybe I want to be out in community spaces, and also to the other extreme, go into one-on-one. What I do, commission pieces, and like more personalized, like talking to the client and having a connection. And it's like, this is what I can project to you. This is what I can give you.
Right.
I just came from a meeting for a house. They wanna paint their garage door, but it's inside. It's more private. And they didn't know the process. And I was like, well, you saw my art. I want to see what you are. What can I help you with?
Right.
And if it does match, then I'll make a beautiful stuff. And also it's based on trust. You have to trust me, because I don't know when I'm going to sometimes come up.
Right.
So
the connectedness that kind of happens in the murals sometimes really kind of reflects sort of the nature of human relationships that really require a mutual exchange, people being on equal footing, communicating with each other, trusting each other.
Exactly. Exactly, as humans, because I know that Marisa loves purple. She doesn't have to tell me what to paint, but I know she loves purple, so most of it, you see it, so it's very purpley, purple and blue, and I know it'll make her happy. Like, she's giving me the freedom, the trust, and the liberty to paint whatever I want, and whoever I want. So I think that's super cool, and that's how it comes out. It's like, I told my clients, if you give me full on trust, like to paint whatever it comes out, sometimes it's just crazy magical, you know.
Right.
I don't even know what's happening, but if you trust me, I'll trust myself, and boom.
Cool,
you know?
cool.
Yeah.
Well, the mural that got painted over in Manzanita Canyon.
That was a freestyle one.
Yeah, and the thing, I mean, it's really funny. The thing that I think really attracted me to that, and then I had to like wonder, well, what am I reading into this? But that face had a kind of sad, kind of melancholy. And I thought, this is really funny, but it reminds me of the character of Ophelia in Hamlet. I don't know if you know.
I don't remember. I think I studied it.
Right, she's Hamlet's girlfriend, Hamlet's love, and he's off playing, being crazy, and he's just killed her father and all that, and she throws herself in the river and drowns.
Wow.
And I saw that face surrounded by all those little sea creatures and little critters and things.
Ophelia.
And I thought, oh, Ophelia.
I love also melancholy.
Melancholy, sure.
I love that. I love it. I don't know why. I love being in the dark with some candles. I love cloudy, overcast weather. I love it. I love like dark forest and little fairies, I love missing people. I love being in that melancholic state. Songs that are very melancholic, I love that. I love to play with that.
Right.
Like very calm stuff. I love it. And so you can see a lot of people say it's so, some of them are like very melancholic, and I'm like, yes, they are. But it's so funny because that's how people connect. If they're feeling melancholy, they're like, oh, somebody else feels like that, and I don't feel that alone, or I don't feel like, oh, it's a feeling, it's on a wall.
Right,
it's so crazy.
Right. Well, I know for myself. I mean, I saw that and I started to think, well, why am I thinking Ophelia? And then I'm thinking, okay, well, I mean, there is this kind of male thing about rescuing women, the damsel in distress in a way, And then I thought, and then I had to kind of laugh at myself because it was kind of like, well, there's a lot of like mental energy going on here for for an image on a wall,
Right? I love that. That makes you like a wall that can make you just question yourself.
Yeah.
Like, why am I feeling like this? Or I mean, I've had emails that was like, oh, I was passing through your wall and I was having a really shitty day, and then you just made my day.
Right.
It's like, oh, dude, just turn it.
Right.
It's like, that's what I want. Right. That's what we want. Or just questioning yourself, that'll make you maybe make a better decision in the future. Who knows? I don't know, but yeah, that wall, which we can go, or no, it's not there anymore.
Yeah, we probably don't need to. It's just a blue wall now.
Norteño and I painted it. I invited him because we're really good friends, and we just have so much fun painting.
Right.
That's another one. He says that walls are for sharing.
Oh, okay,
or
cool.
for like sharing with friends. So we just like, hey, Norteño, have this wall. It's freestyle, which we love. We both freestyle a lot. And he was like, yeah, why don't you put your girl here, and I'll put the ocean elements. What were they? Fishes?
Yeah, there was like
fishes?
squids and stuff. Yeah, I mean, jellyfish.
And there were jellyfish because the ocean discovery was up there. So we did it thinking of some kind of like ocean animal. But then there's a canyon, and I love canyons. I way prefer forest, canyons, trees than ocean, beach, sand, and sun. So I'm going to more of like the Lady in the Lake than the Sunshine Beach Boys style.
Well, it was funny in a way because the little jellyfish, they were hysterical. They were beautiful, but they were like really funny. And here you're in a canyon and there's like all these jellyfish, But so and El Norteño is a Tijuana artist.
He's a Tijuana artist. He's in Tijuana and a lot of walls. He was also 3 years in Argentina before Tijuana. That's where he did his studies, and I think it was art or illustration. I don't remember. And then he came into San Diego last year and lived here for a year, and now he moved to Tucson, Arizona. So he's in Tucson. He comes because he's got jobs in Tijuana.
Right.
But now he's in Tucson, and he's very missed. He's a good friend.
Right, because I know that you guys collaborated on something in Pasaje Rodriguez, and then somebody said, oh, you know, El Norteño is a really good mural artist.
Yeah.
So I looked him up on the internet, and I found some YouTube videos of him working on projects and things. Now, did you live in Tijuana yourself for a while?
Yes, I did. I lived most of my college years. Like more and more. I did my college years and I lived in Playas de Tijuana, which is a little outside of Tijuana, and that's where the college was, the University Iberoamericana, Universidad Iberoamericana. And so I lived there in Tijuana. I wasn't painting or anything. I was just doing graphic design and wondering what I was gonna do. Either go graphic design, but I wanted to do fine art. So, and I think I told you, right? The graphic design, I learned most of my techniques and art and the tools and photography. So it was really good at the end. And then I got married and I had 2 kids. And then we moved to San Diego in 2002 because one of my girls was diagnosed with autism. So we moved here and got, I put my art on pause, and I went full on mom, therapist, doctors, and all of that. And then in 2008, 2009, once Nina was, I felt, okay, now I can start doing some of my art. Then I started going to art walks and starting on festivals, and but I never stopped sketching and drawing, but then I was like, all right, now I can go full-time artist.
Right.
Yeah. So I feel I started late, but I was, I got the tools and I did a good job as a mom, or still doing, but yeah, it was like a time to pause, and then now, boom, start with fine art. And then in 2011, that's when I started with walls.
So, I know that I've seen the thing in Pasaje Rodriguez. Are there other places in Tijuana, like in Playas? That's right. Do you have a deer mural someplace?
In Playas, I painted in front of the beach, in the Malecón.
Right.
There's something there. I don't know if it's still there because it was a while ago, like 2012, 2013.
Right.
And then I think I painted something else in Playas because I was in a crew with girls in Few and Far, and that's how I met Beth, my friend. And I met a lot of my friends, artists right now through Few and Far, through a girls' crew. And I have in Tijuana, I have several. There's some at the Pasaje, there's some outside of the Pasaje, there's some in El Soler, there's one in a bridge in front of El Campestre Club. There's like a virgin, a little virgin under a bridge. And I have a lot of stuff in Playas. I haven't painted recently, in Tijuana. What else do I have? Yeah, I have stuff. There's stuff in there. Yeah, because
I'd seen a photograph of the one that I think you did for, I'm going to say, Ente Arte?
In Tijuanarte.
Right.
Oh, yeah, that one is, it's far away. I can't ever see it because it's so far. In Tijuanarte headquarters, they show it El Secut, right?
Oh, okay.
And in Tijuanarte was connected with El Secut. They have artists come every year, or they sponsor a wall. So they open their headquarters, their offices. They invited me to paint there, and that's the city. I had a sketch. I had a really cool drawing, and Alex was the one who pushed me to doing that. It's like, just do that one, do that one, do that one.
Right.
And that's a really nice one.
Because that's one with the deer.
With the deer,
I think.
And
there's
the warrior dude.
And there's a heart somewhere, I think.
I think there's it's a head of a dude, no, isn't it? And then the deer comes out, something like a city, I want to say. But then I could be imagining something else.
Sure.
But yeah, that was a really cool wall. It's a tiny one, but I really like enjoying the drawing.
Right.
I don't do like guys. I do more girls and walls.
I noticed that. It didn't seem like you do a masculine figure.
I don't do the masculine. And my excuse is like I'm very masculine myself. Like I'm a tomboyish, so I put the feminine out.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, but you get masculine
I get to bring with all the
collaborators,
dudes,
so they get
for sure.
they get to do that put that male energy in there.
Yeah, and I think the first wall that I painted was with Persuade, which is Bunny Kitty. I'm sure that you've seen his art around. It's like a bunny, a cat dressed as a bunny.
Is that say down in North Park?
Yeah, he's in North Park, and then we just recently painted my first wall in San Diego, which is on 12th and G. We did it at black and white, just with Persuade. But the first one was with Persuade and Monstreño. And I always gotten along better with guys. It's just the tomboy in me, or it's just I'm very practical.
Right.
And they were the ones who pushed me to start a wall, and they've been like awesome teachers and mentors and friends. So I love painting with guys. They're less dramatic. Totally. Or with girls that are artists like me and also less dramatic, we make it happen. But cool. yeah, totally. And they're fast, so you learn fast with them too.
Right.
Like, just painting with guys, it's like, oh, okay. But you put your female energy there, and it works.
Right. Cool. Well, I think we had a great conversation.
Sure.
And is there anything else that you would want to say about your work, or anything that we haven't talked about?
I don't know. I don't have anything right now.
Okay. Well, then, in that case, I'm going to turn this off.
Cool.
And